few days ago, I won the CNWPP voucher by successfully decoding a multi-layer Base64 encoding on the xssratpodia.com. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how I did it. If you are here, you're probably looking to decode a piece of data that has been encoded using this complex and secure encoding technique. The multi-layer Base64 encoding is a type of encoding that involves applying the Base64 algorithm multiple times to a piece of data, making it very difficult for an attacker to decode the data without the appropriate key. However, with the right tools and technique, you can decode this type of encoding and reveal the original data. In this video, I will take you through step-by-step process you need to follow to decode a piece of data that has been encoded using multi-layer Base64 encoding. We will explore different tools and techniques you can use to simplify the decoding process. So whether you are a cryptography expert or just getting started in the field, this video is the perfect resource to help you decode the multi-layer Base64 encoding and to unlock the secret hidden within the encoded data. So if you're ready to dive in and learn how to solve this complex and yet simple Base64 encoding challenge, let's get started. Welcome back to the channel. So this is the challenge by XSSRat, and it says everything is free but you need to crack my code. And we have our encoding starting from here down to this part right here, and on the last line we have 6 times 64, so I'm guessing this is some kind of clue. So we have different types of encoding techniques. We have the Base64, the Base58, the Base32, URL encoding, and so many more. So we are unsure of what kind of encoding that was used in this challenge. Now, for experts in encoding and decoding, by merely looking at the structure of the encoding, they can tell what kind of encoding was used. But we're looking at this challenge from a beginner perspective. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting the regular expression for a Base64 based on the clue we have right here. So we're going to be passing this our encoded data into the Base64 regular expression pattern. If we are able to match all the pattern in the Base64 encoding, then we can conclude that this is a Base64 encoding. And also, we're having 6 times 64. So I'm guessing this is some kind of layered encryption techniques or layer encoding techniques to be precise. So what we're going to do right now is to get our encoding right here. So I'm going to copy this. And we're going to move to our working environment. And from here, I'm going to cd into XSSRat, which is the directory we're going to be working in. So I'm going to clear. So I'm going to show you my Base64 encoding regular expression. Okay, good. This is the regular expression string right here. And we have the regular expression string being broken down into different parts, starting from matching of the line, matching of uppercase and lowercase, matching of occurrences, the 2 occurrences, the 0 and 3 occurrences, and various other parts of the regular expression. So, but what we need right here is to just grab our regular expression. So I'm just going to leave this part. So I'll head back to my terminal. So from my terminal, I can close this and clear. So what we need is to create a new file. So I'm going to use the mousepad text editor. Then I'm going to call the new file encoding.txt. So we're going to be putting our encoded data into this encoding.txt. So I'm just going to paste it right here. We're going to save and I'm going to close. So the next thing we're going to do is to open back our regular expression file, which is the Base64 regular expression.txt. So we're going to grab the regular expression. So I'm going to close this. So what I'm going to do right now is to use the grep, and we're going to pass the grep into the E tag, which enables regular expression. And I'm going to paste my regular expression right here. So in quote, and I'm going to pass it into our encoding.txt. Good. So we can see that the regular expression matches every single character in our encoded data. Now we can say this is a base64 encoding. So next thing, we're going to move back to the challenge. So right now I'm going to be showing you how to write a bash and a Python script to decode a 6-layer base64 encoding. So to do this, we are going to head to our terminal and we're going to create a new file. So I'm going to call it base64 decode.bash. So right from this part, we're going to be creating a shebang. So what this does is it tells the operating system to execute the script using the bash shell. So the next thing we're going to do is to create a variable. So we're going to call it encoded text, and the variable is equals to, so in quote, we're going to copy our encoded data from here and paste in our script. I'm going to save. The next thing we're going to do is to create a loop, because we need to iterate through 7 different layers. So sorry, 6 different layers, I beg your pardon. So I'm going to be using one from the range of 1 to 7. And what will happen, so create a new variable, decoded text equals to, so is equals to our echo, which is to print encoded text, and pipe the output of encoded text into base64 decode. So the next thing is using our encoded variable equals to decoded underscore text. Then we have echo, which is print -e, which means you should enable the forward slash, that is the escape character, /n, which means new lines, decoded underscore text. Then lastly, we have done to end our loop. So what we have done so far is we created a shebang, which tells the operating system that this program should be executed using a bash shell. We also have encoded data, which is housing our encoded data, and we created a loop ranging from 1 to 7, and within the loop we have the decoded text to echo encoded text and pipe the result into the base64 decode, and then we now pass the encoded data to the decoded data. So meaning that by the time the first loop has executed, the encoded data will become the decoded data, which will be passed into the next iteration. So lastly, we also have echo E, which happens to be the E happens to be enabling the escape character /n, so that every result will be outputted in the next line, and decoded.text, which is the variable we are outputting on the screen. So what I'm going to do is to save, and after saving, we head to the terminal, and let's close this and let's clear, and we can ls and view the permission of all the files we have in this directory. Okay, so we have the base64 decode.sh, and the permission happens to be just read write for owner, read for group, and read for all. So what we need to do is to add the execute, which is the change mode, plus x decode base64 decode.sh. So let's check that again. All right, so our file is now executable. So what we need to do is to run bash base64 decode. Good. So you can see the different layer of decoding. So this is the first encryption or encoding we are having. After it has been decoded using the first layer, we got this. So if you decode this, you get this, and that is how the decoding continue until the 6th layers, which actually gives us the URL and the coupon code of the challenge. So I'm just going to copy, and when we go to a web browser and we paste this right here, you can see this takes us to the xssratpodia.com. So we can go ahead and add our courses to the cart and put in the coupon code to claim the courses. Coming back to our challenge, this is just one way of doing it using the bash script. We can do this using Python also, and in order to do it, let's create a new script. So let's call it base64 decode.py. So, and this creates a new sheet where we can input our Python code. So the first thing I want to do on the Python code is to import the base64 module, and I'm going to save. So next, I'm going to create a variable called encoded text equals to. So just like we did in the case of the bash, I'm going to copy the encoded data and I'm going to paste it right inside the script. So the next thing I'm going to do is to create a loop for I in range. So 0, 7. So let's say from range 0 to 7. Decode or decoded underscore text, which is a variable, equals to the base 64 dot b64 decode encoded underscore text dot encode dot decode, which is a module for the base64. So we're also going to print a new line to just leave one empty line after each iteration. Then we're going to print the decoded data underscore text, and finally we're going to pass the encoded text to decoded text because of the next iteration. So I'm going to save this, and we can head straight to the terminal. We can close this, we can clear what we have, ls pause once more to check the permission. And for our decode.py, we do not have execution permission, so I'm just going to change mode once more change this to pi. So clear, so we can have our permission. So now our base64 decode.py is now executable. So I'm going to use Python 3 in order to run this. Okay, so we have an error. So I'm missing the column on the for loop. So what we need to do is to clear this. So mousepad base64.py. So I'll add this to keep the terminal open. So let's go ahead and just add our column right here. So I'm going to save and head back to my terminal. So I'm going to run the same code, Python 3 base64.py, and you can see we get the same result. 6 layers encoding. So the first layer, the second layer, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and we get the final encoding. Okay guys, that will be all for now. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification icon. Don't forget to share the video with your friends and colleagues who may find it useful. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.